Hey, Al, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, thanks for taking my call. Just very briefly, 65-year-old Latino, been Republican since 1972. I want to thank you for having a Hispanic, eventually interviewed. And I want to make a statement first. I'm supporting Shelley Berkeley, okay, because I think she's going to do more for the Hispanic community
Can I ask you a
than
question?
Victoria Seaman.
Al, I'm glad
Go
you
ahead.
call. I'm glad you called in as a Hispanic man. I want to ask you this: does it embarrass you that you have a Latino woman who is a Trump surrogate who is okay with Donald Trump saying they're eating our cats and dogs? She said she's okay and has no problem with going back to your S-hole countries, which is the verbiage that Donald Trump uses. As a Latino, are you okay with her and her response to those questions, which I find despicable? I mean, are you okay with the way she answered or lack thereof some of those questions?
The thing is that I missed that part of the interview, and I'm not trying to dodge it. Um, uh, I regarding the eating of people,
Cats and
um,
dogs, not people. Cats and dogs.
cats
Yeah,
and dogs.
yeah.
I'm
But
sorry.
I'm sure that'll be their next
I
conspiracy theory.
apologize.
I'm sure.
I
Yeah,
apologize for that.
that's okay.
So I haven't really heard any substantial evidence to support that. I'm
No,
a
because there
staunch
isn't any. Al,
I'm a staunch Republican, but I
Al,
really
I'm
couldn't.
with you.
If you were to interview me, I couldn't defend that.
Al, I'm not talking about you because I don't think you would answer the question that way. She is a Trump
Right.
surrogate, and she won't say who won the 2020 election. She has no problem with liable sexual abuse. She has no problem with JD Vance not answering the question on the debate stage.
Yeah.
She has
Well,
she
the
has
thing is
no
this.
idea
Go
with
ahead.
unemployment numbers. She thinks that Trump had lower unemployment numbers than Biden, which is a blatant bald-faced lie. She has no idea what she's talking about. And I was mesmerized at the fact that she didn't want to be challenged at all, like many of these other MAGA supporters that don't want to be challenged with actual facts, a word that I don't think she can spell, quite frankly.
Well, the thing is this. Let me tell you something. This, you know that I'm shifting away from. I'm not MAGA. I came from the before MAGA, before Ronald Reagan's MAGA, and before that it was Moms and Apple Pie. And for those that don't know what that stands for, the apple pie stands for prosperity, where everybody wants to get a piece of the American pie or a piece of prosperity. And that moms were really the backbone, and the family structure was the backbone of which made America great in the first place.
Okay, so that sounds
So,
great, but you're still that sounds fine and
no,
great, but you're
no,
still
no, go ahead.
supporting you're still
Go ahead.
supporting Donald Trump, right?
I'm going to vote for him because I do believe that he's going to bring us closer to that.
What?
But I don't
Wait,
think
hold
that
on a
he
second.
is
Hold on.
the.
Hold on a
I
second.
don't think he's the
You
ultimate.
think
Go ahead.
you think Donald Trump brings people closer? I mean, maybe white
No, 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 no,
supremacists.
no, 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 no. I don't think he brings people closer.
Well, what do
No,
you
I think he's going to bring us closer to the mom and apple, to the prosperity. I think we have. I think overall we have.
prosperity?
Most people have a better opportunity to be, to buy, to be prosperous. Buy a home, start a family,
How
things of that
prosperous?
sort.
How
I
prosperous?
do feel that Kamala's policies are too far to the left. So
What?
go ahead.
Okay, so give me a policy that you think is way too far to the left.
I think that her going around saying that she's going to give everybody $25,000 down payment to
Mhm.
buy a home,
So that's
first
too
of all,
far to
is
the left.
unrealistic.
No, it's not. I
Okay, well,
disagree.
hold on a second. Well, let me finish.
Okay.
Okay, because even if you have $25,000, if you don't have the proper income to make the monthly payment, no bank will give you a loan.
They're not
So
going to be
just
just
getting
okay, but hold on, Al. You don't understand the policy. They're not just handing out
okay.
$25,000. You have to have a job. You have to have income. So you're saying you don't like a policy and it's too far to the left. And with all due respect, you don't understand the details of the policy. So give me one that you do. Give me a policy that you understand. And by the way, I would say tax breaks to the top 1% are far more dangerous to this country than Kamala Harris giving somebody a $25,000 down payment for a home. But give me another
Okay.
policy.
Well,
Give me another policy because we'll agree to disagree on that one. And I'm not sure you understand the specifics in the policy, but that's okay.
okay.
Give me another example of something about Kamala Harris that you think is extreme far left.
I think that, especially with the Latino community, we feel that she's trying to put, it's okay for men to go into women's bathrooms.
No, she never
We
said that.
don't
That's
support
not
that
true.
policy.
That's not, there is no policy that says that Kamala Harris has a policy put in place that any man can walk into a woman's bathroom. And if with all due respect, if Latinos feel that way, they're ill-informed. Many of MAGA supporters are very ill-informed. There's no policy put on the books that says any man can walk into a woman's bathroom. That's not true, Al. Give me another one. You're 0 for 2. Give me another one.
Well, the thing is that's what the schools are saying. Give you another one.
No. That's not. Hold on a second. That's not what the schools are saying. There's no school that says any boy can go into the woman's restroom. That's not true, Al. Okay. Now give me. You're 0 for 2. With all due respect, I'm going to give you another opportunity.
Okay, that's fine.
That's not true. That's not a policy. That's not a policy.
That's not true. I'll go look up some more facts, but that's
okay.
I mean, I think I can find the fact and I'll post it for you on the internet. But
there is no policy.
That's right. You want to go for 2? I'm not going to argue.
Okay, so give me another one. Give me another one.
Another policy.
One that actually is a policy.
We don't think that the history of, even though she was only the vice president, how she handled the border. All of these people just coming in.
We had
unvetted.
Okay, so I don't know what policy
the border was not secure.
Okay, I'm not going to sit here and defend the Biden administration when it comes to the border, but I will say this, and you know what I'm going to say. We had a bipartisan border bill put in place. If Donald Trump, the man who you're going to support, really cared about the border, he wouldn't have called Mike Johnson and Republican senators telling them not to pass the bill. It was the most comprehensive bill on the border in decades, and the Border Patrol endorsed it. It wouldn't have solved every issue, but it would have helped. So you can't stand and tell me.
Well, the thing is that bill that's fine. That bill that you're talking to, according to Steve Garvey, who was running for Senate in California, was a 500-page bill, Trojan horse bill, that had a lot of money that was going to Ukraine.
And guess what? I'll retort that.
100% border bill.
I'll retort that. A guy that Donald Trump called the best conservative Republican on border policy. Do you know who I'm talking about? That was Donald Trump's word. Mr. Langford, who was the leader in the Republicans, who sat down with Democrats and put this border bill together. So you could name a few Republicans, I'm sure, or even maybe a few Democrats that didn't like the bill. But the man who Donald Trump said was the #1 guy when it came to dealing with border issues as a staunch conservative is Langford, who helped put the bill together, who endorsed it. So you can, come on, man, don't get, and by the way, that's not
okay, well, we have to go.
Hold on.
I have to read the bill myself.
Okay, yes.
We'd have to read the bill, but I already have. I don't think Steve Garvey was lying.
Okay, well, I don't know how you can criticize a bill with not knowing what's in it. You're now 0 for 3. Can you please give me one?
No. I said, I'm telling you that I believe what Steve Garvey says, so I'm going to take Steve Garvey's opinion.
Okay, well, apparently,
I don't care who got into the bill.
Do you believe what Donald Trump says? You're voting for him.
Okay, can you repeat what Donald Trump said that he liked the guy, but that doesn't mean that he liked the bill.
Do you believe Donald Trump when he speaks? Do you think he's an honest man and he tells the truth? Because if you want to talk about who you believe, who do you think is more capable of telling the truth? Kamala Harris or Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. On that one, I think it's Donald. I don't support Kamala Harris.
I didn't ask you if you support her policies. You're telling me that you think somebody who is more honest with the American people is Donald Trump over Kamala Harris, the man who still says he won the 2020 election, the man who lies every day, who lied about hurricane relief and talks between Joe Biden and Republican governors. Every day, the man lies. And you're telling me you believe Donald Trump? You think he's more of an honest person that you can believe over Kamala Harris? What has Kamala Harris lied about? Because I can give you 1,000 things in the last month that Donald Trump has lied about. I named you a few. What has Kamala Harris lied to the American people about? Blatant lies. Give me a blatant lie. Just give me one.
I just don't think I think her policies are.
I'm not talking.
Are not going to.
The question
wasn't
I understand
about
that.
Policy. Well, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at.
But Al, you just talked about somebody with respect. You just talked about somebody who you trust. You're voting for Donald Trump. You just said you think Donald Trump is more honest than Kamala Harris. I just named you a bunch of Trump lies. I'm asking you to name me one lie. Surely, if you don't trust Kamala Harris, you could name me a few blatant lies, because I can give you a bunch of lies, whether it be about the election, whether it be about a bill that Obama implemented, and then Trump took credit for it, okay, regarding veterans. We can talk about hurricane relief.
One of the lies that comes to mind is when they asked her prior to going to the border, when they asked her that, I think it was on 60 Minutes, when they said that, they told her that they asked her if she went to the border wall. She said, I did. And then the guy says, no, you didn't. And then she responded, no, and I didn't go to England. And then she laughed. She heckled. She laughed. And then the guy I think 60 Minutes was being very factual with the American public that she did not go to the border, and she lied about that.
Right. So
there's a lie there.
So Kamala Harris has gone to the border, and whether that was an intentional...
but at that point when she was asked the question, she didn't go to the border.
So I'm going to have to go back and
that was a blatant lie in front of the whole American people.
I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to listen to whether she said that she was at the border. I don't believe she said she has been there already. Maybe she was there before she was vice president. I don't know. So I'll have to go back and I'll have to look at that. But we're talking about blatant lies every day to the American people. Blatant lies about election and election denial. Blatant lies about abortion and his stance on abortion. Blatant lies about members of his administration. Blatant lies about crime. Blatant lies about the economy. Blatant lies about cause and effect. Blatant lies about women that he's had relationships with. He still says that he didn't have sexual relations with Stormy Daniels. Blatant lies about January 6th. Every single day the man lies. And you're going to bring me a 2-second moment on 60 Minutes where you believe she lied. So that means you don't trust her, but you trust Donald Trump. Al, do you see where I'm going with this?
No, not really. I mean, I think that I don't really listen to Kamala much, because every time
you don't listen to her much, but she's a liar.
I don't really listen to what she says. I listen to what her policies are, because what I'm concerned about is my future. Like the girl was telling me.
Okay, let's talk about the future. Donald Trump got us $8.2 trillion in debt. Donald Trump said he's going to rip up parts of the Constitution. Kamala Harris wants to give women the right to choose. Kamala Harris wants an assault weapons ban. Kamala Harris, like in the Biden administration, wants to work with Republicans. She even said she'd have a Republican in her cabinet. Donald Trump would never have a Democrat in his cabinet. I know Robert F. Kennedy Jr. could be labeled as a Democrat, and Tulsi Gabbard could be labeled as a Democrat, but they're not. They're opportunists, okay? The bottom line here is that in 4 years under Donald Trump, he took over a great economy, left it in shambles. Joe Biden's had to pick up the pieces, just like Barack Obama had to pick up the pieces after George W. Bush left office. I don't know why, Al, you think that if Donald Trump is reelected, all of a sudden everything is going to be great again, right? Make America great again. I don't understand where you come up with that stuff, Al, but I listen, I appreciate you calling in and trying to make the case.